Ugandan opposition politician was abducted in Nairobi, Kenya.
Morning, good afternoon. I am the Kenyan Beast. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm going to talk about the situation or the event that has happened like this week about opposition leader, veteran opposition leader, Dr. Kizza Besigye, when he was abducted in Nairobi, Kenya. This is an event that left people surprised because these two countries, Kenya and Uganda, they are neighbors, yes, but each country has law. And Kizza Besigye being abducted in Kenya, Nairobi, and sent back to Uganda, a lot of people have fear that there is no human rights again. They have no rights in Uganda, in Kenya, no rights. Let's watch this one and then we talk about it.
Uganda's military forces. His lawyer says the court lacks jurisdiction and has questioned the rule of Kenya.
Welcome back. Now, Kizza Besigye was in Kenya like 3 to 4 days ago. He was invited by Mother Karua. And when he was here in Kenya, men in black abducted him. And they took him back to Uganda and he was presented to court. Allegation were he has illegal firearms, etc., etc. And makes a lot of people to think, what is there between William Ruto, the president of Kenya, and Yoweri Museveni? Are they planning to be these dictators, you know? Ruto has been in power just one term and is too close to Yoweri Museveni. And Yoweri Museveni is a veteran in that seat more than 30 years. Kizza Besigye is just an opposition leader opposing Yoweri Museveni, opposing corruption in Uganda. He is an opposition leader standing for the rights of human in Uganda, standing for the rights of Ugandans. And for him to visit Kenya as a state, Kenya has laws. Kenya has a way of preventing human rights and everything. But the situation that have just occurred of Besigye being abducted in Kenya and sent back to Uganda, and no officials of Kenya has said anything, no government official has said anything, they are just quiet. It gives a lot of questions. Which way are we heading as Kenya and Uganda? Now Ugandans and foreigners and visitors, they feel no safe again to be in Kenya. Because if Kenya just allows someone to be, what if they are just bad people, you know? This is a political leader, political figure, a well-known person. How can he be abducted in Kenya? So, foreigners and visitors don't feel safe again in Kenya. And this is telling me a lot of these two governments, Kenya and Uganda. Is telling me how corrupt our leaders are. Is telling me how they don't care about human rights. Is telling me how they don't care. The problem of Kizza Besigye is speaking against Yoweri Museveni. And happens even here in Kenya, opposition leader, South Africa, we have opposition leaders, but you don't have to abduct them. Kidnapping. And we are saying that we are in a democratic countries. We are saying Uganda is a democratic country. Kenya is a democratic country. Are these our leaders? Abduction has been all around Kenya, everywhere. Since the time of, we had this protest, abduction have been all in all. People are being killed. How can we grow as Africa? How can we grow as countries of Africa if we don't take care of human rights, if we don't preserve our people, if we don't fight corruption, if we don't fight imperialism that's happening between us? How can we be the best that we want to be if whenever you speak against the government, you're being abducted? Even me, by doing this video, I'm not sure what will happen to me, because questioning the government, it's like a disaster. You just talk and then next day you are nowhere to be seen. You are being abducted. But it's a free country. Uganda is a free country, but they don't have that right to speak. If you abduct the leader, opposition leader, one of the opposition leaders of Uganda, what about the people of Uganda? Will they speak out? Will they say no to this government? Will they fight corruption? So this means that you don't have any right to speak. Whatever the leader decide, just like that. If we decide to loot, it's like that. If we decide to take your plots and lands, it's like that. Where are we heading as Kenya? Where are we heading as Uganda? Where are we heading as Tanzania? Because abduction happened even in Tanzania. Opposition leader are being held, being abducted, kidnapped, left, right, center. The abduction of Ugandan opposition politician Kizza Besigye, or any individual in Kenya or any other jurisdiction, is against the law. Such actions violate both domestic laws and international laws. It violates human rights. Yeah? It's a violation of Kenyan domestic laws. For example, kidnapping and abduction under Kenyan law, forcibly abducting or detaining someone without lawful authority is criminal offense. Holding a person against their will violates Kenyan's law, including provisions in penal code. Another thing, the Kenyan constitution guarantees rights such as freedom and security of the person. Any act of abduction undermines this protection. And again, this abduction that happened to Kizza Besigye is a violation of international law. Both Kenya and Uganda are to international treaties such as your Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights, which protect against arbitrary detention and abduction. If Besigye was wanted or wanted for legitimate legal reasons in Uganda, Kenya will be required to follow legal extradition procedures respecting due process of the individual rights. So, if Ugandan authorities were involved in the abduction in Kenya, this is viewed as violation of Kenyan sovereignty and an act of state-sponsored abduction, which could strain diplomatic relation between the two nations. Again, abduction are often criticized as breaches of international norms and could be pursued at regional courts like East African Court. So if this event occurred as it's described, it needs thorough investigation, with Kenya being obligated to address the act under the legal frame while protecting human rights. But Kenyans have not the government officials have not spoken anything. Because if this happens in Kenyan soil and Ugandan police or Ugandan authorities were the one who did this abduction, that means they violated the sovereignty of Kenya. Any person, whether being a leader, individual, need to be, if there's an issue, the government both governments should communicate, and this man maybe can be arrested legally and handed over to the government of Uganda. But abduction is something else. So this just speaks volume of what our African governments, Kenyan government, Ugandan government, Tanzania, Rwanda, how it is. Because the human rights are being violated here and no one is speaking about it. There are just norms going on normally like nothing occur. And this is a leader of Uganda? What about the people of Uganda? And we are saying that we will grow as Africa. We are saying that we have the human rights. We are saying that we are civilized. We are saying that we'll have fair elections if something like this are happening. So, or maybe Uganda government and Kenyan government had an agreement. They know. Kenya knew what was happening. It's so sad on this situation. Tell me what you think on the comment section. Do you think the abduction of Kizza Besigye is violation of human rights, or it's just normal? And what the allegation that was accused to him? Something funny is he was charged with in possession with illegal firearm in Uganda, and he was abducted in Kenya. How can that happen? If you have illegal firearm, why you need to be presented into Kenyan court? You need to be. It's so funny and it's so sad how these governments are going on with their business, but we need to wake up as youths. That's why we say, youths, we need to wake up. We need to take power. We need to be there to, to change how things are being done in Africa. Until next episode, peace be with you.